Welcome back, students. So we will be resuming from where we started in the previous tutorial. And yeah, so we were talking about just a small recap. So we were talking about diversity. And what is diversity? Diversity is basically the condition of being different, right? So when I say the condition of being different, what I mean is that, and India is a perfect example of being diverse. Yes, you have people hailing from so many different regions, they speak so many different languages, and yet they hold on to the inherent culture and characteristic of being in India, right? Therefore, the condition of being multiple, of plural, is known as being diverse, right? So now, children, this unity in diversity, this is a very famous slogan. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru gave the slogan, and this is what this student is exactly what sums up about India. This is India. We're unified, yet we are so diverse. Now, how and why diversity? If this is the question you're looking into, your answer is in the fact that there are a lot of factors, right? One is one is the mixed influence. Then you have the influence of foreigners, right? Our freedom struggle, globalization. So we look at these factors one by one, right? So rise in mixed influence. Now, students, unity for India, it came about slowly. It was not a sudden one day process. Yes. And often what has happened is the times of need, right? Like natural disasters or so on, they often learn people, they often make people learn, right, how to adjust and care for each other. Now, for example, today, right, we're facing uh, coronavirus, right, the pandemic, and it has taught us so much. It has taught us how to appreciate each other, right? It has taught us how to appreciate and how to at the same time, you see people who are helping out other people in need. You see people who go out of their way to help others, right, when they themselves can be very much at home as well. So it it shows that we're all very diverse, yet we're all unified, and we need to come out of this in a unified manner, right? So this problem the whole country is facing, it has taught us that we all have to be unified to come out of it. So similarly, students, throughout time, it is these moments of adversities uh, of happenings or issues wherein people have faced some disaster, right? They come about, when they come out of it, they're all unified. Yes. So next, what you have is the influence of foreigners. Now, students, foreigners, when they come to India, right, they come to India with their own culture. Yes. And when they come here, so for example, Britishers, yes, the Europeans have their own different culture, very different culture from ours, right? And when they came to India first, yes, they came, they settled here for trade, for commerce. Yes. So when they settled here, they brought their culture, they brought their knowledge, their culture, their way of living. Yes. So we have people now wearing suits. That was not our culture. Our culture was more of lungis. Yes. So you see this shift of culture, this was an example of influence of foreigners. So they add to our diversity. Another very prominent example is Urdu. So Urdu emerged from a mix of Hindi and Persian. Yes. The Mughals used to speak Persian, Indians used to speak Hindi. It merged in the form of Urdu. So that is how Urdu came into existence. And today, so many people speak Urdu, right? So that's how foreigners have influenced in the past, and even today continue to influence our culture. Yes, you have so much Western influence in these days, right? Next example is, students, we have our freedom struggle. Now, students' freedom struggle, our freedom movement was one movement in history which actually brought together India. There was no India before the Britishers. But this freedom struggle united the entire country, people from all across, right? They moved in against the rule of the Britishers. They resisted the British rule together, and it brought them together. Yes? So everyone came together to fight against the British. And we have the national flag, the national anthem, national birds, national flower, all are symbols of this unity that we're all together. Yes? Another, most recent, the most latest factor that brings us all together is globalization. Now, students, you feel not just for yourself, or for your neighbors, or for your state, or for your country. People all across the world are united, right? There's a global spread of ideas and technology. So the games that you are playing, most probably students in United States of America are also playing the same games, right? So there's a global network of economy. If one country's economy crashes, the impact is felt worldwide. So today, if Chinese economy felt a shock, it was felt by us too. In India, there was a shortage of supply of goods. If the US economy is currently facing a big major shock, we are facing its impact too. In fact, Indian economy is really really majorly getting affected, and it's an alarming situation, right? So there's a global network of economy, society, culture. We are very much influenced by the Western culture. We've shifted our family structure. Everything is shifting, right? We're soaking the Western culture. So it is impacting us. At the same time, we know our roots too, right? We are taking parts of it, but not everything, students. We are very diverse, right? So these factors, students, have unified us, as well as make sure that we are very diverse, right? India is a huge country, and people from all across have very different characteristics. People, regions, languages, everything, right? So therefore, we can say it's the apt term for us. We're a country having unity in spite of its diversity, right? Now, students, there are two case studies in your book which focuses on this diversity, right? Which explores this diversity. One is a classic example of the state Kerala, right? Now, Kerala, students, is located in the southwest part of India, right? On the tip, you can see, right? And it is very rich in spices like pepper, cloves, cardamom, and all of that. So this spice cultivation, students, it attracted a lot of Jewish and Arab traders. So these traders, when they came to the subcontinent, to Kerala specifically, they came and they settled there, right? So in fact, it was once, there was the Portuguese had discovered. So going back to history, when the Portuguese discovered the sea route from India to India from Europe, a lot of European ships also started coming to Kerala, right? So these foreign merchants, they were practicing very different religions like Islam, Christianity, Hinduism, and Buddhism. So people who came and they settled here, right? Now we find that the people of Kerala are Christians, they're Muslims, they're Hindus, Buddhists. Yes, so the culture that has emerged now in Kerala is a result of hundreds of years of settlements and people relocating. Yes, so and today the people who came and they relocated, they eat rice, fish, vegetables, and fish is also very important because fishing is the the most important livelihood of people of Kerala. And children, another interesting fact on how diversity as a role has played in shaping Kerala is that the Chinese fishing nets or China Vallar, yes, and Chini Chatti, the frying utensils, are very popular here. And the inspiration has been taken from China, right? So you see, in one state, you have influence of Europeans, the Portuguese, the Chinese, and this is just a very broad categorization of how diversity plays its role in shaping a state, right? Now, similarly for Ladakh, now students, Ladakh is the second case study, and Ladakh is a cold desert. So you remember we studied that in your previous classes, or you studied that there are two kinds of desert: hot desert and a cold desert. So Ladakh is a cold desert, right? And it lies to the east, the northeast part of Jammu and Kashmir, basically the top towards the right. Yes. So now Ladakh has no rainfall, right? Very scanty rainfall, right? So they do not have much of agriculture other than where they grow wheat and barley, right? So that is how the climate affects. Then yes, although people do practice a lot of sheep, goat, cow, and yak rearing, so there's a lot of this happening. And because of this, this region is very special because of pashmina shawls. I think most of your mothers might have one. So pashmina shawl, it's very famous for its wool, right? And it is very costly as well. Right? So now these the pashmina shawls are made from the wool of sheep that is collected by the people of Ladakh and it is sold to Kashmiri traders. Yes. Now another major influence of Ladakh in Ladakh is of Tibet. So Ladakh has a lot of passes which connect Ladakh to Tibet, and they sell a lot of textiles, spices, raw silk, and carpet. Now, children, what is interesting to see is that the culture of Ladakh is mix of both Indian as well as Tibetan. Yeah. So, in fact, to the extent that Ladakh is also often known as Little Tibet. Yes. And you see Tibetan influence in terms of food, music, architecture. And what is even more interesting is that Buddhism. So, Ladakh has primarily Muslims as well as Buddhists as the two major religions that are practiced in this region. So, Buddhism students uh, is something that Tibet acquired through Ladakh. Yes. So Buddhism reached Tibet via Ladakh, which is now a very major. So you have the Dalai Lama from Tibet. I think if you know who the Dalai Lama is, right? If not, Google search him. Yes. So Buddhism, which is very very famous in Tibet now, reached Tibet through Ladakh. So this is how students diversity plays its role in shaping a state, a region, right? And it is very interesting to see what comes from where and settles in where. Yeah. So with this, I complete this chapter.
And I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed presenting it to you. Come back to me with your doubts, and we will have a Zoom session on this soon. Thank you so much.